Alright, and I'll use this phone instead of the body cam. Hey! It's me, Billy the Nomad, with War on Earth. And check out his channel. He's got a lot more to say about the Epstein files. What's rattling on your head about the Epstein files? I know they're controversial. And I read somewhere where Elon Musk has access to that shit.
Yeah, Musk said that he was in the files.
Who, Trump?
Yeah. When they were arguing, Musk said that's the reason they hadn't been released.
But, I mean, you know, we all know Trump is a pervert.
But we shouldn't have to ask for it.
No, we shouldn't.
Like, that bothers me the most of all, is why it's not just there in the first place. And then he's calling people stupid for asking about it. Like, how are we the ones stupid when you the one protecting pedophiles?
Yeah.
Like, in a certain way, he's right. We stupid for letting them get away with the shit.
And voting him in.
Like, even people that's like his base are starting to say, hey, where's them files? We need to see them files. And so once he shows that he's been putting Pam Bondi on the spot. Like, I don't know exactly her position.
Yeah.
But he's been saying she needs to go through the files.
Oh, yeah.
But that shit should have been gone through already.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's definitely a controversial thing, you know, much like, you know, Trump's all of a sudden stance on Ukraine. You know, make that shit make sense.
I don't know about that. What's he doing with that?
Allegedly, I think he is helping Ukraine now. Allegedly.
I thought supposedly that's what he was trying to do all along, while still somehow being friends with Putin.
Yup.
Maybe Putin's a pedophile too. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, because for the longest time, Trump and Putin were buddies.
Because you can look up the videos, like, from the 90s and see where Trump was partying with Epstein, and they sure did look like they was having a good time.
Oh, not to mention, you could also see older videos. If you look up Tom Powell's channel, he actually has video recording from the 90s of Trump basically sexualizing his own daughter.
I've seen some of those pictures where it looks like you know, they on a date or something.
Well, or no, what he actually said, and you could find this, anybody can find this, but it's actually, you know, in Tom Powell's channel. I guess you could say I follow him. I haven't watched his videos in a while because it just gets addicting and I got more important things to do. But, you know, he said something one time to the effect of, oh, if Ivanka wasn't my daughter, I'd date her.
I've heard of that.
You know, and when Ivanka was born, you know, he said something to the effect of, I think she's going to have my wife's legs. Not sure about her. Like, what the fuck? And, you know, I bet you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the cult followers, the Trump supporters, going to be like, oh, he said that over 40 years ago. It's like, that may be true, but it was said. It was documented.
That's just like how he says, well, Epstein died a long time ago. Like, but that don't mean it don't matter less.
Yeah. You know, and even before the internet, you know, once it's out there, it's out there.
Like, I never expected that from him, because I don't really like him, but I didn't expect him to, like, not put that shit out, because he was saying before he was elected that he had no problem putting that out there. And now he's calling us stupid for asking for it.
Yeah, and not to mention, you know, he played us all for fools, but, you know, well, then again, anybody who gets into office will play us for a fucking fool.
Yeah, I think we need to change the name of the White House to the pedophile house.
Yup.
Because all them fuckers in power, they all know what's going on. And they only making political moves. They not trying to make the world better.
No, they're not.
Because every one of them fuckers are probably friends with a pedophile.
You know, like I said, you know, unrelated to this topic, but a good example. See all these cars? All of them. How many of them are new? And how long are they going to keep them? You see what I'm saying? And so let's back on topic here. I know I do enough talking about cars in my other videos, but you know.
You can't help yourself. You see a car and you have to talk about it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, especially if it's my own. especially the project with my tracker that I've been working on. But anyhow,
no, that's what I really want to tell people. Anybody who's listening, who's a YouTuber, keep this Epstein shit going.
Keep it going.
Yeah, keep talking about it. And don't settle for any bullshit files that get put out, because he's going to make himself look innocent. He's going to tamper. He's going to do what he's got to do to cut himself out of the shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't right, though. It's not right that we ever had to fucking ask for it. It's like we begging for something that's already ours.
Well, what's funny? Let's go back to Bill Clinton. We all know he was a womanizer.
Bill Clinton was on Epstein's wall wearing a blue dress. Have you seen that picture?
I'll have to check it out
look up the Epstein painting of Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
That means Bill was knee deep in that shit too.
Yeah, but was he ever accused of pedophilia?
I don't know. He got accused of several rapes.
He probably did. And we all know he cheated on his wife hardcore.
Oh, that bitch is probably a pedophile too. She's like, man, I never trusted her.
Well, Hillary?
Yeah.
Yep. But anyhow, I mean, the one, even though he slept around a lot, the economy was fucking booming. Getting a job was like taking candy from a fucking baby. Now it's like, you got to fucking scrape and claw, and like I said in some of my own videos, making a choice between a condo, rent, food.
I know, right?
It shouldn't be that way.
Or like in my case, making a choice between laundromat, gas, food. Just it's all fucked up choices. You can't really win either way.
Yeah, exactly. And it shouldn't be like this. Like, I know some people, and I've seen people say, homelessness is a choice. And for some people, excuse me, for some people do like the nomadic lifestyle. But I bet you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they probably have much nicer vehicles than what we have. They have RVs, so they can do that.
We've been replaced by them fuckers. Look, it's not a racist thing, but this is what I see. Anybody who's revolutionary minded, or not even to take it as far as revolutionary, but even being an independent thinker, you're getting snuffed out and you're getting replaced by some little submissive, government worshipping fucking immigrant. Because that's all they want to do is whatever they're told, and that's all they want to do is make money, and they're only coming here to fucking make money. They're not coming here to make the world a better place. And they're coming here to take our fucking place, whether they realize that or not. That's how they're being exploited. That's how they're being used. They've been weaponized against us. And they're such little good fucking Samaritans that they can't see it.
And or if they make a stand, then they get sent back to wherever they came from. Which, speaking of which, I don't know how true anything is anymore, but allegedly, if you speak out against the Trump administration, you could be deported.
I've been seeing that.
Yeah, even if you're U.S. born.
Talking.
Just for talking.
I think the latest one I've seen was Rosie O'Donnell.
Yup. I didn't know she was not American. I didn't know she was born outside of America first, but whatever.
Like, who knew that just talking could make you an immigrant?
Well, who knew that just talking could
make you illegal?
Yup. I mean, well, she's a U.S. citizen now, so obviously she became a naturalized citizen. But who the fuck knew that just for talking?
If Trump don't like you, you're not a human.
Yup.
And you know what, though? I don't want people to think I'm picking on Trump, because I believe Trump has been bullied a lot. Like, I've seen him do dirty things to him. So I ain't gonna lie for him or against him.
Yeah.
But I don't fucking like him. He's protecting pedophiles, and that's my focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he needs to be dealt with. Like, next time a motherfucker shoots at his ass, I hope they take more than his ear off.
Okay, yep. Not advocating anything.
Well, I'm not saying go do it. I'm just saying if it was to happen, please hit more than just his ear.
Yep.
Because the fucker can still hear out both ears as far as I know, so that wasn't good enough.
Yep. And I've seen some sources say even that was faked, but whatever. Like I said, I believe everything I see with my
Well,
own...
there's all kinds of shit going on with that because there were so many security breaches that failed.
Yep.
And like those motherfuckers know what they doing. So who orchestrated that to be done so sloppily? It was almost like an inside job to where we don't know if they wanted to take him out for a good reason or a bad reason.
Right.
They might have wanted to take him out just so they could have his spot, or they might have wanted to take him out because they knew about all this pedophile shit before we did. We don't really know.
Well, you know, case in point, I know we may have, I don't think we ever talked about this, the Luigi Mangione incident. Like, how in the fuck could a random guy know where a CEO is at the exact moment at fucking 6:45 in the morning? Like,
I mean, it's weird.
that is very, very strange. Like, he knew exactly what vehicle the CEO was going to get out of, which entrance the hotel was going to be in. You know, the shooter. So that tells me that, you know, it must have been an inside job, and it accomplished nothing really, because health insurance is still fucking dicking people over with their money. You know, you fucking pay for something, you're supposed to be able to use it. You know, it's the same thing with auto insurance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know. But, you know, I'm not going to get too deep into that because, you know, enough people already have, and, you know, they're pushing this stuff just to get us away from that one, and they're going to fucking do it again with some other incident to get us away from the Epstein files.
Yep. Just like you heard about the UFC, right? They're going to have a UFC at the White House.
Yep.
Ain't that funny, right, with all this Epstein shit? Now they got you distracted by the John Jones and Conor McGregor, and they got you thinking all this other shit, everything but pedophiles.
Yep. It's fucking noise.
Exactly.
They want to keep us distracted from what's really going on, and, you know, the cost of groceries has not gone down. The cost of gas has not gone down.
All this, like Doge, all this money they save, where the fuck is that money?
Yeah.
Why come they ain't using that shit to help people?
Yeah. I never got a Doge check.
Me neither. I don't know of anybody that did, except for Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Probably. We didn't get one.
You bragging about saving us money, so where's the fucking money?
Yeah. Take care of the people.
First of all, taxation is theft, period.
Yep.
If I'm telling you, I'm going to take 20% of what you work for, and if you don't give it to me, I'm either going to put you in a cage or I'm going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm a thief.
Yep.
Why is that acceptable just because they're the government? Is it because people are so afraid, or because people are just so used to walking the line?
And you know,
have to get over that.
How much taxes should they really be taking out? I mean,
none.
Well, then, in all fairness, I have to play devil's advocate. Who's going to pay to fix the roadways?
We do not need them for organization. We can organize ourselves. That's another thing. They got everybody addicted to the auto industry. Like, the way you have to have a car almost just to survive, that was done on purpose. So they got you hooked in so many ways.
Yep.
The road system is a gridlock. The
It
auto
is.
industry, the oil industry, all these things are connected. So when you say, what would we do? We make our own way without being controlled by them.
Mm-hmm.
And we can still have this too, but we'd have to organize ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And there wouldn't be all these fucking fly traps of people's money getting stuck. And you know what I mean?
Yep.
We do not need them to organize.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you are right. I think besides Canada, you know, and that's a different example, but, you know, similar. You know, around here, you really need a car unless you live in the city.
They've made it that way.
Yeah. You know, and public transportation sucks. You know, that's why.
And then you have to look at all the damage to the environment, all the tire dust, all the emissions.
Yep.
I was reading at a hiking trail the other day that the reason they have to stock that shit with, I think it's trout or whatever,
Yep.
is because they die. over time,
Mm-hmm.
just from runoff from the road spilling into the stream.
Yeah.
And it heats the temperature of the
Yeah.
stream so much that it will kill the fish. So these industries are destroying the world for profit.
Yep.
And we just cheering them on and letting them do it. We have to reverse that.
Yeah, I think in other countries, I think even including Russia, very few people have cars. Unless you live in the really remote, much like Canada. And again, that's a whole different ballgame.
I'm not like anti-car, but I'm anti-control. If we have to give up all our control just to have a car, then fuck a car.
Yep.
Let's be a real person here. Let's not be owned by a fucking car.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's why not a lot, but I've seen a few people actually choose places like South Korea, fucking Thailand, Philippines, because, again, very few people have cars because you really don't need them. Hell, even Hawaii.
And the more roads that get paved, the less land for food. Like, how much more land do we need to destroy?
Yeah.
Like, we can't, it's already hard enough to, if you wanted to forage food, there's nothing wrong with that, but they've made it fucking almost impossible to do.
And not to mention,
that's on purpose.
Not to mention, how much car does the actual person need? Like, I've mentioned this, and other people have mentioned this, like, you see a lot of people with, like, these, like, crew cab trucks, these, like, really decked out crew cab trucks. Like, most of them are driving around with empty beds. At least when I had my old truck, I used it like a truck, and it was a small truck. I'm okay with a small truck, because that's all the average Joe really needs. Unless you are hauling stuff regularly, like you work in construction, or maybe like that Tacoma way over there, maybe that guy might be into, off-roading and camping. Let's not judge everybody with a truck.
I've worked in a lot of companies that make parts for like BMW and shit.
Yep.
I can tell you the companies that make these parts, they're not treating their employees special.
Yeah.
How much money does BMW make?
Yeah.
Like, they have their own facilities, but they also have little plastic injection molded places make a lot of stuff for them too.
Yeah. And the other thing with older vehicles, finding parts for them is impossible.
That's another thing. You have to factor that in, because the way they make shit now, everything's plastic.
Yep. And it's all high tech.
And you already know it's gonna break or melt or something eventually.
Yep. Finding parts for my truck. I mean, hell, even finding parts for my old truck I used to have, that was a bitch. And that was a 2005. And I put blame on the fucking automotive bailout, the cash for clunkers, because that basically changed consumerism's mentality, to where something goes wrong, you have to trade it in for the next new thing, and then a few years later, it's out of date. Like this phone I'm using. This thing will probably be out of date soon. And it really shouldn't be that way. I think, and you can agree or disagree that, we keep reinventing the wheel way too much.
It's a tactic, it's a strategy.
It is. And, it's basically to keep us in debt. Financially and emotionally.
Like you gotta have technology just to get a job now.
Oh, yeah.
It shouldn't even be that way.
No, especially a fucking labor job.
Even if I didn't have a phone or access to a computer, I should be able to go somewhere,
fill out an application,
put my fucking name on a piece of paper.
Yup.
And I still got just as good a chance, even if I'm not fucking super high tech.
Yeah.
But just like you say, they've made it where we have to depend on this shit.
Yeah.
And then 5-10 years down the road, you have to spend another $500, $1,000 just to be able to fill out a fucking application.
Oh, yeah. It's a fucking nonsense. Oh, I did a fucking short today. I got a confirmation email, for like a clearance jobs seminar. And it was probably spam, right? Because I didn't remember registering. I checked the site out. And then I got another one today saying, whoops, we made this an error. You did not. And they put a little fucking smiley face on it because you didn't. But if you want to check it out, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll check it out. Yeah. They want $399 to go to a fucking something. Oh yeah, fuck you.
To go to what?
To go to like some seminar for jobs.
Oh.
You shouldn't have to pay to get a fucking job.
Like I watched, there's this bald-headed fucker. He's got some kind of UK accent or something, man. He makes these videos on how to do job interviews.
Yep.
And when I watch this motherfucker, he's the most dick suck, kiss ass motherfucker in the world. It makes me sick to think you have to be that way just to get a job. You know what I mean?
Oh, don't even get me started. They do credit checks.
This motherfucker's got a shaved head, shaved face, probably shaves his fucking arms and legs. Like he's totally robotic for the system.
Looks like a mannequin. I know. I think I know who you're talking about. But, you know, and the fact that, you know, on top of that, you have to have fucking years of experience, fucking PhD, all that crap, and they only offer $20 an hour. I mean, come on, fucking really? And not to mention, they'll only hire people who check off every box on their fucking wish list. So yeah,
that's what they do. They not highlighting your strengths. They amplifying your weakness. And what they want is a perfect story on paper, and they think that paper is reality.
That sounds a little bit like dating in relationships. I don't care. I've made that parallel several times.
Yeah, I mean, why come nobody's making videos on how they can recruit better? You know what I mean? Instead of telling us we have to kiss your ass better, we should be telling you, you have to be more appealing to us. You have to make this shit more worth it to us.
Exactly.
You have to be more respectable and more humble, and I don't care if your shoes cost more than mine or whatever your deal is. That shouldn't matter any fucking way.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They judging you by the car they see you pull up in, and they judging you by your clothes and all this shit. I mean, really ain't got nothing to do with the job.
Hell, it could be by your physical features. And I don't care what anybody says. I've seen that happen. You know, I mean, there are certain occupations where physical features are important. Like, neither one of us are going to be NBA players. You know what I mean? But, you know, for the most jobs, you know, we shouldn't be looked at just because, well, one, you know, we don't look a certain way, you know. And some companies will do that. Either, and there's ageism, that's another one.
Well, we in a place that's real bad about that, because around here, everybody wants you to look like you work for the fucking government, you know? I don't want to look like the fucking CIA. I don't like the motherfuckers. Yeah. Just knowing they look that way makes me not fucking want to look like it.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously, you know, with a labor job, you know, they're not going to want to see you in a suit and tie. You know what I mean? But, you know, you're right about all the other professional jobs.
For the interview, they would.
Actually, no, they actually prefer, in my experience, they actually prefer you to look like you're ready to go to work. So.
You're talking about landscaping.
Like landscaping, construction,
I guess that's
you know, trades. You know, so yeah.
But it depends, though. It depends on if you dealing straight with the landscaper, or if he's done started dealing with a tent place.
Yep.
And when you go talk to these bitches in that tent place, then they don't expect that fucking, oh, well, he's wearing sweatpants. We don't like people that wear sweatpants.
Yeah.
He should have wore a suit. Why didn't he wear a suit? Something must be wrong with him.
You know, and, you know, obviously, you know, like I said.
So you see, it gets middleman, and so it still gets in there anyway.
Oh, yeah. You know, and on top of that, the online processes, you know, like, for example, Walmart, Target, all those jobs, they expect you to take a fucking assessment test after. And I don't care what anybody says, if you don't answer the questions, you know, the way they want you to answer them, the manager will never see your application. You'll just sit there in fucking cyberspace.
Yeah, they getting you weeded out by the computer.
Yep, AI. And that's not right. You know,
I'd applied at a Pepsi warehouse like about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And like I had the job, I passed their little course. They fucking asked me all these weird psychological questions. Yep. And keep in mind, all I'm doing is stacking drinks on a pallet.
Yeah.
And like they just pushed me so hard with one stipulation after another. They was putting me through the most extensive fucking background check I had ever seen a job do.
Oh yeah.
And they just put me through so much shit.
Yep.
I ended up turning them down and taking a different job, even though I really wanted to work there. I just felt like they went way too fucking far.
Yeah. Yeah, and not to mention, they look at social media posts and to me it's kind of fucking creepy. That's why I use fucking throwaway accounts. So meaning my resume and all that shit is not attached. Well, I don't use Facebook. I don't use TikTok. So they're not going to find me on social media. Besides my YouTube channel, which is also a throwaway. I just fucking, because I just think that's just going way too far and entrenching in people's personal lives.
Definitely.
Although with that being said, if you're posting racist shit, then you're probably not going to get a job. So.
I mean, if you think about it, it's all a fucking genius design to see what's inside people's mind, and they been trying to do shit like that because people are so hooked on the internet and on the phone, and they can track what you're looking at and shit like that.
Yep.
And yeah, just the corporations get in on it too, and they start trying to track you, and so it's like the government and these corporations, they a lot alike, and sometimes they the same thing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think,
who should get to decide what I look like?
Yeah.
But they think they supposed to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's and that could tie into the whole DEI type of thing to an extent. I wouldn't be surprised if some people did like a social experiment, like have a white guy and a black guy with the same exact credentials apply for the same job just to see which one they hire. That would be interesting to see. Same credentials, they wear the same outfit, well,
And
not shit.
Take it a step further. Have two black guys, and one of them talk like we talk, and another one talk with like some kind of accent.
Yeah, or you could do the same thing with two white guys. I mean,
yeah.
They did turn away that Norwegian tourist because he had a fucking meme. Did you hear about that? Check it out next time you get a chance. A tourist fucking, coming from Norway, got sent back to Norway because he had a fucking meme on his phone on JD Vance, like one of those funny ass Photoshop.
Yeah, that's back to what we were saying. You can't even.
Yeah.
If you talk, then you a illegal immigrant.
Yeah. And how long have people made fun of politicians? Saturday Night Live. And not to mention, there's a puppet type show in the 80s called DC Follies. And they fucking went hardcore. And nobody fucking complained. Nobody fucking complained. Or if they did, you didn't really hear about it. Now, it's like, you hear about it. I mean, politicians should assume that they're going to get made fun of. It should be written in their job description. But anyhow, I think I'm getting low on memory, so we'll cut this out. TheWaronEarth, Billy B the Nomad. Hope you like the content. I'll talk to you.